yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Hey, 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 hey. Hey there, hi there, hi there, hi there, hi there, hi there. Hi there, hi there, hi there. It's me, the great Indamade. Are you ready? I'm gonna go over another Class 12B student, alright? Okay, yay. Alright, I call her Teardrop. That's her hero name. Alright, real name. Amira Dark. Amaya Dark? Alright, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, I'm sorry. This young lady, clad in gray, black, and blue, and a blue, gray, and dark blue, with a gothic cloud-like appearance, is actually the daughter of a famous villain known as the Laughing Man, whom is a member of a now-defunct crime organization and thankfully went to jail. He had the true art of laughter, who could make people, and it could make people laugh uncontrollably and experience so much joy and happiness that they literally died with a smile on their face due to his energy and jokes. She, by contrast, hated her old man because ever since he got out of prison, he wasn't much of a father and spent many of his days, drinking himself in a stupor and was physically and emotionally abusive, while Mom struggled to make ends meet, meaning she grew up poor and in squalor. On top of that, she developed a true arts depression, which caused a rain cloud, form over her head whenever it started to manifest due to strong emotional reactions and it would pour water all over her and everywhere she walked. Meaning her old man basically forced her to live in a rundown old shed. Wanting to escape her life, she secretly studied hard to enroll in the Big League Association, a school for true artists, who wanted to be heroes, in the hopes that their power, which she only saw as a detriment that only hurt her instead of giving her any real or cool abilities, could be developed into and refined into something actually useful. However, during the time to show off what her ability was, she had a bit of a breakdown due to her poor control over it, and was isolated and led to, her being labeled a freak by her upperclassmen and avoided and shunned, which, not to mention, they found out that she was a villain's daughter, which only invited bullying and rumors, and the staff who were not equipped to deal with her and her abilities, due to especially the constant water damage that, her abilities caused, sent her to Class 12B, where Enamai, noticing her abilities were going out of control, immediately led Enamai to, go into her dream space. To discover that her abilities were being influenced by a small-scale evil outbreak going on inside her mind that was about to break free into reality. So Enamai defeated each of them and helped to repair this damage to her psychic kinetic nerves, which was caused by her old man's subtle influence over her abilities, due to his, true arts and his abuse, which caused, the rain cloud to dissipate and to become something she could actually, control and manage. Though she didn't find it very useful, though Indamati gave her a dress, made by alchemy, that could absorb the water element, meaning her cloud could give her the ability to heal and regenerate herself by absorbing the water. Oh yeah, elemental absorption. Touched by this, but still not seeing the silver lining, she agreed to the dream space training, where she learned, in a lot of ways, her powers were similar to her old man's, but the opposite. She had the ability to make enemies cry uncontrollably and feel intense depression and despair, which Enamai helped her to control and teach her the ethical use of, and to control it via psychic warfare-based arts, which not even her old man knew about, in order to control the intensity of it. She also learned she could, cause mood swings, where she could control states of manic happiness, furious anger, and miserable depression, which she eventually learned to control into more manageable and controllable abilities, and could not only use them to debuff and weaken enemies, but also provide herself different abilities based on the emotional states as well. And of course, the rain cloud overhead became something based on the emotional states as well. Of course, the rain cloud, I'm sorry. Of course, the rain cloud overhead became something that was a curse at first, to something controllable and helpful, and even gained sentience as a cloud familiar that could heal and support her while, hurling thunderbolts and harsh gales and pounding ice to back her up with some offensive shots. Due to this, she felt she could see the silver lining in the dark clouds after all, and finally go from being a sad, lonely girl with a dark disposition to someone who could, smile and laugh. Not out of manic malice with no real warmth behind it like her old man, but out of genuine warmth and kindness. She even, she even became powerful enough with her emotion-based abilities to defeat Parasite Brain by forcing a psychic grip over galaxies to break through her magic arts, which caused them to shrink and dissolve into a very weak and, significantly less powerful state by sticking him in a loop where he couldn't hurt anybody ever again by, basically, affecting his mind. Yeah. That's kind of the way, defeat Parasite Brain, since he's like, giant eldritch alien, thing that, is basically, he's like Starro the Conqueror if, he had the ethics of, it from, shit, what was it? Wrinkle in Time, as well as, 02 from Kirby. Yeah. Now, I remember when I first had this idea, I didn't really, have it in mind for a hero class. I just wanted, invent a superhero with a power that could do this. Which, somebody brought up, hey, there's a kind of a character, some anime or something that, had the power to, do a similar power, but with laughter and joy. So that's kind of how I developed our old band, of course. Anyway, I hope you had fun. Remember to fly like bat and shine like the moon, for we are stuff dreams are made of, yay! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go look for somebody to raid. Alright, now. Ooh, Finley Fisk. Now, what was the best time? What is your best time in your story? Oh, hi, Ghosty Cat. Hi, Ghost Kit Cat. Thank you for being here. I just finished up, yeah. I basically made a heroine, who has the power, of depression. She can make enemies, super sad, and, basically go into despair and give up. Alright, now. Let's go raid Finley Fisk. Since we like them a lot, yeah. They sometimes respond to stuff on Twitter, so... By the way, thank you for being here. I apologize that it was so soon. I apologize that it was so quick, Hey, you can join in with the raid if you like. And if you like, you can watch later. Yes, I will be putting this up on YouTube as well. Moonbat raid, there we go. See you later, bye-bye.